McLaren's latest model has finally arrived in dealerships, and it's this one, the 2019 McLaren 720s Spider. Now, from the exterior, the car may not look that different. You might say, oh, it's just got a new retractable hardtop, but McLaren has actually made quite a few tweaks and added some new features to this car that I'm going to get into in this video, and you definitely don't want to miss out on them because there are some pretty cool features. So in this review, I'm going to go around the exterior and interior. We're going to talk about the powertrain, the performance specs, and of course that retractable hardtop, as well as take a listen to the exhaust. So let's get right into the video. One thing that McLaren claims hasn't changed a lot since the base 720s is the powertrain. It's the same exact 4-liter twin turbocharged V8 engine. It's going to put out the same 710 horsepower and 568 pounds-feet of torque for the same 7-speed dual clutch transmission. In fact, McLaren even goes so far as to claim the same performance numbers for the Spider. Despite the increase in weight and the decrease in aerodynamic performance, they still say it can go 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds and reach a top speed of 212 miles per hour. So the real changes to the 720 Spider occur here at the exterior of the car. McLaren offers 3 new colors for the Spider, including Aztec Gold, Supernova Silver, and the color that we see on this model, which is called Belize Blue. And it's got a very, very deep, sparkly tint to it with just a tiny hint of green to make it really stand out, especially out here in the bright Florida sunlight. The nose of the car is not changed very much. We've got the same standard LED headlights with the built-in carbon fiber air intake just behind those. You've also got an available carbon fiber front splitter there to add a little bit of contrast to this nice blue color. Moving along to the side of the car, standard 19-inch rims in the front and 20 in the rear. I really like these carbon fiber mirror caps. Those are an option you can select the car with. Now, something you might notice about the side of the 720 is that there's no big air vent like you have on the 570 and on so many other supercars. Mid-engine cars, as we know, need to pull air from the side of the car, but instead of putting a big ugly vent there that's really going to mess with the lines of the car, McLaren did something very cool with these dihedral doors. Now, all McLarens have these dihedral doors, but on the 720 they're pretty special because McLaren put an air channel inside the door. It's kind of double skinned, they call it. So you've got a channel in here that's going to pull hot air from the outside of the car into the engine to help cool it and help add performance and things like that. And it really catches your eye when it comes up. You can just see the amount of intricacy they put into the very door of the car. Now, as far as the rear hatch design goes, obviously we can't have that big glass design on the coupe, so McLaren puts what they call cantrails. They're essentially flying buttresses like you would find on a Ford GT or on the 570 Spider, just a little air inlet right here behind the B-pillar that's going to allow air to flow inside, but it's also going to help support the roof and that retractable hardtop. And I imagine visibility is going to be decreased just a little bit with this rear design, but it does look pretty sharp here from the exterior. And finishing it all off in the rear of the car, obviously we've got this enormous electronically adjustable rear spoiler. That's exactly the same as the coupe, as are the LED taillight strips, which are very thin to allow hot air to be sucked out those vents from the engine bay and improve cooling. And finally, this car has been selected with the titanium performance exhaust, and I gotta admit that twin turbo V8 sounds pretty fantastic. So now that we're in the interior of the 720 Spider and away from all the traffic noise, I'd like to take a moment to talk about the main feature of this car that everyone wants to hear about, and that's this retractable hardtop. Now, you can open or close it using this little lever here on the center console, right in front of the small cup holder, and it can be opened in as little as 11 seconds. So it's a very functional design, but it's also got one really cool feature that I'm sure you've heard about if you know about the 720 Spider at all, and it's called the McLaren elctrochromic roof. This is a $9,100 option, but it adds this little button here on the headliner of the car. You press that button and the glass itself will either lighten or darken depending on when you press it. If you want it to be not as bright in the interior, if the sun's beating down on you and it's super hot like it is today, you press the button, it'll darken itself. You press it again, it'll lighten itself. And it's just a really cool way to allow light in or not allow light in. But as we move away from that retractable hardtop, you can see the interior is filled with leather and alcantara and carbon fiber accents. All the buttons in here are made out of machined aluminum, so they're just the highest quality you can have essentially, and it all feels very, very good and sporty, and I really, really love the feel of this interior. A lot of cars I get into like this, the super high ultra performance cars, are just way too small for me. I'm around 6'1", 6'2". I don't have any issue with headroom in here, which is good because we do have that hardtop, or legroom at all. I don't even know if the seat is all the way back, but I'm perfectly comfortable here. And speaking of these seats, they come standard as manually adjustable sports seats, but as you can see, this car has been specified with power adjustable seats with several different memory options, heated as well. I don't know why you would need that in Florida, but overall they're very comfortable. The side bolsters are pretty aggressive, so when it comes to where your arms are, it does get a little bit scrunched up, but it's a performance car, so you're just going to have to live with that. As far as technology goes, this 720S has an 8-inch infotainment touchscreen that allows you to control climate and the different vehicle settings. And you've also got a folding driver display on the dashboard, again, outlined in carbon fiber. And if you're in track mode, it will lower itself to reduce the amount of information you have to process. And if you're in comfort mode and you want to see all the different statistics, you can opt to have it flipped up again. So very, very cool design. It's kind of a minimalist look in here, but McLaren managed to fit a lot of really cool technologies into this car while still making it not overbearing. Make sure to check out my review of the McLaren 600 LT and my ride in the 720 Coupe by clicking on one of the cards right there. Also, huge shout out and special thanks to William and everyone here at McLaren Tampa for providing me with this 720 Spider to review today. I'll provide a link to their inventory below. And as always, guys, remember to leave this video a thumbs up, comment your thoughts below, check out my channel if you haven't already, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.